Hello YouTube, this is Ricksuston here, and I'm gonna do another commentary for a replay here. And this one was sent to me by Pointman, and also known as Reflex CSS on YouTube. And we have him here, and he is playing with Lovemo Sibandla, this guy over here. You can see that by the name of his avatar, and that is Loro Mugabe. Let's see where he is. There he is. And then in the center here we have also from Seattle Steel Terminator, and they are playing against, I think it's some Titans guys, and this guy's name I'm not even gonna try to pronounce. I'm gonna call him Apollo. Okay, so this is Apollo. Then we have Grund and Kingdom of Smiles, and it's a huge battle and it takes quite a while, so I'm gonna put it in slow motion while I go through the builds. And just one quick thing here, can you imagine trying to cast this game and commentate it without the debug cam? That would be horrible. So I'm gonna go through it real quick here. So we start with Pointman. He got a white bear infantry here, a spear levy, and a shogatai. Then he got 3 more white bears, no, 2 black bears and 1 white bear, 4 spear levy, 4 shogatai, 2 Boki, which is actually the first time I see anyone but Agony Tempik using them. And there we have 2 Yariki and his general. That seems to be a Bushido general, actually, I think. Here we have Terminator, and he's got an Armstrong gun that's back here. Some black bears with increased range, so they have 150 range. United States Marines with 150 range. Then his center here is 4 white bears, 1 Tosa rifle with 175 range, so also increased range on those, and 1 white tiger force, 3 Yariki, and his general. That's command general, leader general, I think. Lovemo's build here, black tortoise force, 2 of them. United States Marines, 150 range, a couple of white bear infantry, Imperial Guard Cav with 150 range. I'm sure these guys are quite expensive. 2 spear levy back there, 1 white tiger force, and then they got an Armstrong gun here, and 3 Yariki, and his general, that's a gun general. Kingdom of Smiles, got some spear levy here, 2 Tosa riflemen, and some black bear infantry, 4 black bears. And then he did something that I don't really understand, but he divided his army into 2 parts, 1 here and 1 here, with black tortoise force, white bear infantry, 3 white bears, and his general there. And I'm sure you got some hidden units as well. But this is not very smart. I mean, first of all, Lomo can focus. If it's quick, he can focus on this part or this part and just beat this part and then concentrate on that part, or the opposite. So the army is a lot weaker, and he can just draw a big wedge through the center here and cut him off. And also it makes this part weaker than these guys, since they can Lomo can help here and flank the center, and these units are in a bad position to help. But the first action is gonna take part here, I think, if you don't count these Armstrong guns firing. But also Grund got an Armstrong gun here as well, and he got some Imperial infantry and black bears, 150 range, some black bears, United States Marines, 150 range, and some more black bears. And then Apollo got Infanterie de Marine, 150 range, 2 Tosa riflemen, white bears, I think that was, no, black bears. Then white bear, black tortoise force, 1 Imperial Guard, 1 Yariki, and his general is also a gun general, just like Lovemo's. Yeah, so I'm surprised these guys, Apollo and Kingdom of Smiles, both brought 2 Tosa riflemen, since they are very expensive. but we'll see how they use them here. And here he is forcing Point Man to pull back, because Point Man has two options at this point. Either he engages and attacks full out to kill these two Tosa rifles, because Apollo got a range advantage on him. So either you have to attack or pull back, and he decides to pull back because I don't know, he wants Lammo to attack probably. Let's put it in normal mode here. And here is an archery dojo, and it's really important now in Fall of the Samurai, so that's why both these guys put units here. But it looks like Point Man has decided to pull back a bit, but he's also sending the cavalry over here to engage these two missile units here in his cav. We'll see how that goes over there. And they're exchanging some fire with the Armstrong guns here. He's trying to shoot these elite infantry, I think, or nah, he's shooting the Tosa riflemen. Okay, this guy put them in loose formation in the forest, but they are very deep formation, and even though they're skirmishers, still the first line's the only one that fires in loose formation, which I think is kind of stupid, but that's how it is. So you want to pull them out as much as possible. Here we have Lammo's Imperial Guard Cav with 150 range, and they're trying to skirmish a bit with these guys. But this guy got 150 range as well, and they unleash a devastating volley into these guys, and they almost rout. And there's comes some artillery fire as well from the Armstrong guns. But I looked at the replay before, and these guns are the ones that will put the most pain on out of all of the guns. You see, these guys got 54 kills so far. These guys got 57, but they. So sorry about that. I got interrupted a bit. So these guys, you see, now they already have 68 kills, and you only missed one volley, I think. He's starting to target these Imperial Guard infantry, and if you use heavy infantry, heavily upgraded guard units and stuff, you need to really watch out for artillery, since that is the first thing any good player targets, is your 150 range guard units, and especially these foreign marine units, like the United States Marines, the French Infanterie de Marine, and the Royal Marines. So let's see what's happening here. This battle's quite long. I'm actually gonna put in forward mode a bit. Oh my god, that's a lot of lag then. Nope, let's put it in play again. So I might actually edit a part out. We will see how I decide to do, but they are engaging in some skirmishing going on more or less all the time, so it is a bit interesting. And here you got his 175 range Tosa rifles, Terminator, and starting to take some nice shots at these Blackbeard infantry. And wow, ouch. But this is a thing I think is annoying with this game, is that a unit, especially the artillery, it's really annoying, is they always shoot at one side like this, and you see how many shots actually ends up missing because of this. See, they focus on these few guys that's out here, and the entire units, all 90 men, shoot here, and that's quite a waste. And it's even worse when artillery does it. As you see, they hit here, but they aim for this unit, and that's really annoying. I mean, wouldn't it be a lot more like realistic if they target the center, since that's where I would target, especially with artillery. I would target this thick part here, not these parts here. But yeah, we'll see what CA says about that. But it was the same in Napoleon, so I don't know. They probably have a reason why they make it like that. There's some skirmishing going on out here. Point Man is getting the worst of it, from the looks of it. But he got some his bow key over here as well, giving some assistance. And they are not very good actually, but if they have a 150 range, so if you use them well, they might actually be very good. Imperial Guard Cav coming in here and trying to skirmish a bit, but as you see, that one volley from the bow key, and they didn't get a single kill, while these guys get a volley off and they kill almost 20 men. They killed 19. So Imperial Guard Cav are a lot better. That's all I can say. See, now they got 3 kills to Boki. But Bokis are kind of cheap, cost like 500, 600 Koku, so it completely depends on what your enemy brings. It's a risk bringing them, but they can work out really well, and they end up doing quite well this battle actually. And the Fall of the Samurai units got low armor, so against the infantry they can be really effective. Let's see, okay, now we missed a lot of the action here, but Lubmo actually engages here and pushes this guy's units in the center here away. Just like I said, was a risk with deploying in 2 sides here. He managed to get a wedge straight through the center here, eliminate almost half this guy's army, and also a big part of Grund's army, and forcing him to pull back. Grund needs to put his units further back, otherwise he's going to be completely outflanked by Lubmo here. And I'm not sure what this guy is doing actually. He's not moving forward to close the gap or anything, but he's just turning his units around, letting these guys get slaughtered. They could have returned otherwise. Now they can't, now they're shattered. And he's also letting this guy be completely surrounded almost. He's heavily outflanked. Some units returned here though, some Yariki, but they won't be able to do so much anymore. They are not enough to cover this hole. And he is pulling out his units here and trying to set up a bit better on the hill, but this artillery piece is just ripping them apart. They got 236 kills now. I think these guys got 96, so you see they pushed past them quite well. These guys taken some damage as well, and I don't know what they took damage from. It might be cavalry or just some artillery shells hitting them, I'm not sure, but damage, they took damage anyways. And as you see, Grund here has taken some real damage as well to a lot of his infantry units. That was just because of this push that Lubmo managed to do here. Over here on this flank, the skirmishing is still going on, but now the Boki are actually starting to get some kills, 36 on this unit and 42 on this one. And he's just targeting these weak infantry units. And they don't have much armor, they only have 2 armor, and that's like a monk unit from Shogun 2. So they are excellent targets for bows. And you see that he is losing men all the time, but this general got 155 range, so he is starting to shoot at those bow cap, and this unit ends up routing. But still, he's lost so much infantry now that these 2 units, Pointman reinforced with 1 Whitebeard from the center, should be able to take him out. And this guy knows it, and he moves up. I don't know why he moved up, but he feels like he has to attack. And that means Pointman got the first shots off, and this unit's almost gone, more or less, the Black Tortoise force. And Apollo is trying to send cavalry to stop these guys from firing, but Pointman's doing a great job with his spear levy here, and managed to chase them away. And if I were Pointman, I would definitely have shot this Imperial Guard earlier, but he didn't change targets until now, since it's a very expensive unit and they're very good. And since they have the archery dojo, they got 105 reload skill, which is kind of insane, to be honest. So I would have targeted those guys earlier to take them out of the battle, but it looks like he's got the better of the missile fight here anyways. And Terminator is sending a a Boki. He also got Boki. He's sending them to assist. Over here on this flank, it's... let's see, this guy has sent his unit, the Kingdom of Smiles. He moved his units over here and moved them like this, and he is trying to cover this side here now, but it's not really working since he's pushed so far back that the flank of Grund is still open. As you see here, Lubmo can send units up here to harass his flank and make him move even further. So bottom line, these Titans guys are way too spread out. there's a big hole in the center where there's almost no units, so they are like two different armies, while the Seattle Steel guys are still more or less one big line and can assist each other everywhere. Now they decide to attack in the center here, Terminator and Point Man. And Point Man sends cavalry and his melee infantry up to interrupt. And they are managing to interrupt them really well. And here comes some more cavalry from Lovemo. But he makes a nice counter charge here, Apollo, and managed to stop the sword infantry quite well. But it's not going to be enough, since the entire center is having to retreat. And have really low morale and starting to break lots of units here. And this was a really nice coordinated attack by Terminator and Point Man on this flank. And Lovemo is just waiting. He doesn't need to do anything right now. He's sending a Tosa rifleman up to take some shots at those Imperial infantry and those Armstrong guns. But he can just wait until they've just killed Apollo and Grund on this side, and then wait till his allies can come and attack the flank. So what Kingdom of Smiles really should do, he should just attack. He needs to move forward and try to beat Lovemo before his allies are completely beaten, since when his allies lose, it's just it's impossible, more or less, to take 3 guys by your own, since these guys still have lots of units left. So he needs to kill Lovemo before fighting anyone else, but he just sits here. So a lot of bad moves from Kingdom of Smiles this battle, actually, and some mistakes from both sides, but overall a very well done battle, well fought from both sides. But the Seattle Steel guys just took better decisions overall over the entire battlefield, more or less, and they really put some pain on these Titan guys. It was a really good battle, and these cannons, I'm not sure what they're doing actually. He's limbered them, and I'm sure he's gonna move them up or unlimber them soon again. I think he moved them all the way from back here up here, so he can start shooting these guys as well. But they have 255 kills, so they've actually done some nice work. And I think it's about now or really soon that Lovemo decides that he wants some action as well and starts moving up without waiting for these guys, because now it really doesn't matter. Even if he would lose this fight here, these guys still have more or less 2 armies left, so it doesn't really matter. And Kingdom of Smile moves up a little bit here with his Tosas to get some shots, but these guys have the same range as the Tosa riflemen, since they have increased range. And also the terrain is really bad. As you see, they can't see anything and they can't shoot. So that's really important with these rifle infantry. They need to have nice terrain, and I'm not sure if he realizes that. But now you see they've completely cleaned up this side, and they are moving in on the side. And Terminator and Point Man sent their Bokeh here and are starting to harass the Blackbear infantry on this flank. Lovemo got his Armstrong guns firing again, and they are starting to put some nice pain on them again here. And he is focusing on this huge pile of troops here, and look at the damage that those guys did with the those what do you call them, shrapnel shots. And they can be really devastating. At least when the enemies formed up quite close like this, they are really dangerous. Here Kingdom of Smile sends some Yari cavalry up to to interrupt these guys from firing, but it ends up more or less backfiring because of the terrain. You see, only not even half the unit of these Blackbears can fire, and this unit can't fire at all, I think. And same with the Tosas, only a few men can fire, while all these guys could fire on Kingdom of Smiles attacking units here. So what that attack actually ends up doing is eliminating Kingdom of Smiles' entire melee force and cav force, while causing almost no casualties. And you see a few guys can fire here, but it's not enough. It's half the Tosa rifle unit out of 3 units that can fire, while these almost both these units can counter fire on these Tosa rifles. So that attack really backfired. And this general can fire, since he's on horses, he can fire above the heads of these guys. And now Lamo decides to move up so he can get some real shots off. And also he's sending his spear levy in to soak up some fire and try to interrupt these guys. Kingdom of Smiles decides to pull back, which is a thing he should probably have done earlier. And here Lamo just opens up on his general and kills half the unit more or less. And he's still firing at the general. So yeah, he's barely in range, but it's gonna be, since you see Terminator and Pointman is moving in on the flank, and I think Lamo would have pulled this off on his own as well, since this guy's entire left flank is routing, and Lamo is pressing him really hard here as well. And the spear levy are probably gonna rout those Blackbears, and the general is wavering, and now his entire army routs. And let's get the UI away and get some cinematic mode. You can just see all these bullets just firing off and just tearing down the general and so forth. So okay guys, I will be right back with the stats, and we will see how. Hello guys, I'm back here with the stats. The battle didn't take as long as I thought, 18 minutes, so it wasn't so bad for a 3v3 actually. Here we can see the kills off and deployment here. So actually Lamo killed the most of everyone, which was surprising since he didn't fight as much as the other ones, at least according to me. It didn't look like it, but I think it was because he did some really nice assist with his cavalry to the other 2 guys. And also his guns was really effective. But he killed 1,445 men. Terminator killed 718, but he only lost 500. And Pointman, he killed 1,182 and lost 1,001. Kingdom of Smiles did the worst, because he divided his army up and got massacred first on one side and then on the other. And that made him lose 1,300 men and only kill 408. The other 2 guys did a bit better, and they both killed about 800 and both lost about 1,000. So it was a very good game, and some nice maneuvering and some nice cav assistance, and all over a very good battle. And here we can see Lamo's Armstrong guns did really well, and then here you can see some Yariki. I think he did some really nice moves with the cav. I'm not sure if I showed them correctly, but it was really nice. Some Tosa riflemen. But here you can see his Imperial Guard cav with 9 chevrons only got 42 kills and lost 59. So that was a complete waste of money. It was I mean, they must cost a lot, and they barely did anything. Then Grund, his best unit was some United States Marines. Kingdom of Smiles got some Blackbeard infantry there. Terminator had some Blackbeards and some Tosa rifles. Pointman, his Bokeh ended up getting 160 kills. I think most of those kills was when he sent them into melee in the end of the battle though. I'm not sure, but that's really good for a Bokeh. And Apollo, his Whitebeard infantry did really well. 307 kills with a vanilla Whitebeard infantry. That is really, really good. So this was overall a really good battle, and thanks to Pointman for sending me the replay, and thanks YouTube, and thanks everyone for watching, and I will see you guys later.